Hi 3-4s, so today what we're going to be learning is how to use estimation and rounding to check the reasonableness of our answers that we calculate. So our very first step is that we're going to use vertical addition just like we've been learning to solve this problem as per usual. So we've got 31 add 63. So we're going to start with our ones column, always starting from the right, moving to the left. 1 and 3 is 4. 3 and 6 is 9. So our exact answer is 94. We're now going to be using rounding to help us estimate to see, is this answer reasonable? Are we close to that answer? And sometimes when we're solving problems, we just get asked to estimate the answer and not find the exact calculation. So when we are asked to estimate something, we need to use rounding to round it either up or down to the nearest tens, hundreds, thousands. So if we have a look at this number, we're going to round 31 and 63 to the nearest tens. So this is our tens column. So when we're rounding, just to remind you, we look at the place value column that we're going to round, so our tens, and then we move to the value to the right hand side. So for 31, we have a look at 1. So our standard rule for rounding is if it's 4 or less, we round down, and if it's 5 or more, we round up. So just draw this little thing here. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, we round down, and if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we round up. So 31, we have a look at the number to the right, 1, so we are going to round down. So it means any value to the right of the 3 also turns into a 0. So 31 rounded is 30, and 63 rounded, we have a look at the 6, we look at the value to the right, so a 3 gets rounded down. So we round 63 to 60. Now we solve the problem as per usual, and we can see the ones is just a 0, and 6 and 3 is 9. So we've used rounding here to estimate this calculation, and we can see 90 is very close to 94, so we can check that that's a reasonable answer. Let's try another one. This time 489 add 535. So we're going to use vertical addition to solve it as per usual, making sure our place value columns are lined up, starting from the ones and moving to the left. So 9 add 5 is 14. Place the 4 down because we're going to rename it as 4 ones and 1 10, and we're going to carry the 10. 8 plus 1 and 3 is 9, 10, 11, 12. Rename it to 2 tens and 100. So we're going to carry the 1. Then we add 1, 4, and 5, which is 10. And because we have nothing to carry on to the next column, we just put the whole 10 down. So our answer, this is the exact answer of 1024. So to check to see if we are fairly accurate, we're going to use the estimating and rounding. So to estimate, we need to firstly round our numbers. So we're still going to round these numbers, this time to the tens, so the nearest 10. So I'm going to look at the tens place value and look at the number to the right. 9, we know that you round the number up. So that means we have to add 1 to the 8. So this number is going to be rounded to 490, because any value to the right always changes to a 0. Let's round 535. So identify the 10 spot, look to the right, 5. We must round 5 up, so we need to add 1 to the number 3. So it will be 5, 4, and because anything to the right of the place value column that we're rounding always is a 0. So our rounded numbers now are 490 add 540. And this is going to help us add it in a simpler version. So we can see 0 and 0 is 0, 9 and 4 is 13. So we leave the 3 tens and we carry the 100. 4, add 1 and 5 is 10. So we have now used rounding to estimate, to check to see if we have calculated a reasonable answer. And as you can see, our answers are very close, so we can see that this is an accurate calculation. So we need to remember the key steps are to first round the number, then you can estimate. 652, add 266. First, we're going to calculate it using our vertical addition, starting with our ones. 2 ones and 6 ones is 8 ones. Pop it down. We move to our tens column. 5 tens and 6 tens is 11 tens. So 11 tens renamed is the same as saying 110 and 100. So we're going to carry the 100 up. Then we add our hundreds column. 6 and 1 and 2 is 9. So our answer, our exact calculation is 918. We're now going to use rounding to estimate our calculation of this sum to see if we've got a reasonable answer. So you're going to set your work out exactly like this. You have an equation that is your exact calculation using vertical addition, and you'll have another equation which is the same, but you have rounded it to estimate. So we're going to round it to the nearest 10. So we look at the tens place column and we look at the value to the right. So 2 gets rounded down. So 652 becomes 650. 266, we look at our tens place value column and we look at the number to the right of that. So 6, we can see the number gets rounded up. So we have to add 1 to the 6. So it becomes 270, because any value to the right then turns into a 0. Now we're going to add these ones. So 0 and 0 is 0. 5 and 7 is 12. So we know we rename it, keeping the 2 tens down, and we carry the 100. And then we add 6, 1 and 2 together, which is 9. And we can see again, this is our estimation and this is our exact calculation. And we can see this is a reasonable calculation as it's very close to the estimation. We're going to try one more, which is a 4-digit problem. And this time we're going to round our number to the hundreds place value column. So 6,689. Making sure we're carefully setting out our vertical addition problems. Add 5,887. Calculating using vertical addition, starting with our ones. 9 add 7, we know it's 16. So we rename 16 ones to 6 ones and we carry the 110. We move to the tens column, 8 and 8. I can see that's one of my doubles, so I know straight away that's 16, and add 1 is 17. We rename our 17 tens to 107 tens. So we place the 7 tens down and carry the 100. Moving to our hundreds column, add 6, 1 and 8 is 15. So we need to rename our 1500s to 500s and 1000, carrying that 1000, making sure that every time we carry any number, we write it as a big, large digit so we don't miss adding that with our calculations. Then finally, adding our thousands column. So 1 and 5 is 6, and then we can double 6, which is 12. And because we have no further place value columns and we don't go into 10,000, we can place the whole 12 down. So our answer of our calculation is 12,576. We're now going to round these numbers to the nearest 100 to check have we calculated a reasonable number by creating an estimation. So we look at 6,689 and we find the hundreds place column. We now look to the number to the right, which is 8, and we know if it's an 8, we round up and we add 1 to our hundreds column. So our rounded number is 6,700. For 5,887, we look in the hundreds column, check the number to the right, which is an 8, that too gets rounded up. So our number now becomes 5,900. Remembering that any value to the right-hand side of the number always turns into a 0. So now let's estimate this equation using our vertical addition. So we know our zeros added together equals 0. And then we get our hundreds column. So 9 and 7 is 16, which is the same as saying 600s and 1,000. So we place our 600s down and carry our 1,000. And then we add our thousands column. So 1, 5, and 6 is 12. So here we have our exact calculation and we have our estimation. And we estimate to check the reasonableness of our answers. And so we can see it's fairly close. So this is quite an accurate calculation. So this is how I would like you to set it out exactly in your workbooks. You'll have the exact calculation and then the estimated calculation. Good luck.